Hey, what's up, everybody? Yours truly back in space, back in place once again. Mickey Smith Jr., Mr. Smith here with you, and it's beginning band time. So we're talking about flute assembly, and I think it's so important. You know, you got to be so careful when you first start playing your instrument. These instruments are not toys. I know people use the term, we're going to play our horns, but we're really performing our instruments. They're finely tuned instruments, finely tuned machines that have to be handled with care. So I always tell students, anytime we perform, that before the performance starts and we have to assemble instruments, to do so on the ground, that I place the instruments on the ground. Now, for the sake of explanation today, I'm just gonna kind of hold it up so you can see it, okay? But with a flute, I would always put it on the ground because when we're trying to manipulate and maneuver the different mechanisms, you know, gravity is a whole lot better on the ground than it is up high. So even if you try to assemble it on your lap or on a chair or on a countertop, if something happens and that flute falls, you know, it doesn't take much to damage it. So we want to make sure that we leave it on the ground, because if it falls from the ground on the ground, come on. I mean, it's pretty safe to say that the damage will be minimal. So we want to make sure that we keep it better on the ground. Gravity is a whole lot nicer on the ground. So with that being said, I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I always make sure that the latches, the case faces me, the latches on the case face me. So when I open it, it looks like this and I can handle it properly. You can see that the flute has 3 parts. There is a foot joint, okay, a foot connection. There's the body, and then there's what we call the head joint. Okay, that's not my words for it, that's what we call it. So the first thing is we start from the bottom, then we go here. Start from the bottom and then go here. So first thing is we take the foot out. When we take the foot out, I always tell the students, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, meaning that we're gonna hold it like this with our thumb up, and we're gonna press those 2 keys down. Then the next thing we do is we grab it where it's the fewest keys. Please, you know, students, parents, when you're watching your students, make sure that they don't grab it where it's a lot of keys. These keys look strong and they look metallic, but they bend very easily. So you can see it's not very thick. The metal is very, very thin. So we want to make sure that we don't damage it. So I tell them grab it where it's the fewest keys down here. You can see there are fewer keys here. Grab it where it's the fewest keys, thumbs up, and then my thumbs are pointing at each other. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. I'll do that again. Thumbs to thumbs, shimmy, 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 shimmy. Never a twist, never a big turn, because you'll break it that way. Even as I demonstrated it, I was faking it. I don't want you to twist or turn it that way. We just want to go like this and then ever so slightly pushing in. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Okay? Next thing is we take the head joint and the body. And a lot of times I'll tell them just stick the body on your leg, grab it where it's the fewest keys, shimmy, 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 shimmy. The head joint's easy because there are no keys here, so anywhere you grab it will be fine. And then finally, the last part is we want to align everything, okay? So the line we're trying to create is from this rod, not the circles. Listen. A lot of people, watch this, a lot of people think that they have to line the circles up with the circles. But ironically, that is not the way. You would think that that's the way, that you place the circles with the circles. But really what you do is you line the rod with the circles. You make that rod, that line right there, point to the circles. And the circles then align with the hole. And I'll point down so I can see it, almost like I'm looking down the scope of a telescope or scope of a gun, okay? So I'm doing the line with the circles, and then eventually it points to the embouchure hole, the tone hole. We call those, the tone hole or the embouchure hole is what we refer to it as, and that's where the sound is produced. And then when it comes to playing it, when it comes to making that first sound, we have to put our fingers in the right place. So it's the key, not the very first key. Ironically, it's like the second key. Then watch this. We skip the second key and then third key. So not the first key, but the second key. And then after we place that finger down, skip the subsequent key and go to this key and this key. So 1, skip a key, 2, 3. So again, not the top key, the second key, put our first finger number 1, then 1, what? Skip a key, 2, 3. Pinky stays in the air, and then thumb goes back here, okay? And then, watch this. Pinky, okay? And then our fingers are 1, 2, 3, okay? Or as I like to say, pinky, 3, 2, 1. I can count from the bottom. Pinky, 3, 2, 1. All right? Now for our first note that we focused on in class has been F, which is thumb, back key right here. And then 1, remember, skip a key, 2, 3, first finger, okay? And you always have to make sure that we keep the correct order. Remember, it's 3, 2, 1, but only press 1. Remember, it's 3, 2, 1, but only press 1 and pinky. And then that makes the flute. The flute's gonna be a little awkward to hold at first. So what I tell the students is, it's like this. Feed a hamburger, eat a hamburger. Feed a hamburger, feed a hamburger, eat a hamburger. And if we hold the flute like that, eat the hamburger, feed the hamburger, right? So if we hold the flute like that, it's pinky, 3, 2, 1, only press 1. Feed the hamburger, and then eat the hamburger, thumb key, 1, skip a key, 2, 3. Remember, don't start on the top key, start on the second key. Finger number 1, skip a key, 2, 3. Eat the hamburger, feed the hamburger, okay? And it'll look like this when we play. And it'll sound like that too. But in order to get that sound, I want you to take your first lesson sheet, and work on the head joint exercises. That's what's next. So take that head joint off, rest your flute in your case, and get to working on the air, because the air is how you create the sound. Stay tuned, guys. More to come. Keep on going.